Does anyone from the crowd have something to say against this marriage? If there are any impediments, please say it now or remain silent forever, Priest Roland said. Anthony and Helen are the ones getting married. After dating each other for 4 years, they were just normal enough to get married. They had been faithful to each other and throughout their dating. So when Priest Roland asked the audience whether they had anything against this marriage, they were not expecting anyone to talk. Since you all are here have nothing to say against this marriage, I pronounce, hold on! A female voice interrupted the Priest Roland. This wedding can never come off, not when I'm alive, she said. Madam, please, what do you have to say? Priest Roland asked, as the lady who walked up to the altar where Helen and Anthony stood exchanging their vows. Anthony, so if I didn't arrive early, you would have abandoned me for this stupid woman, the agitated lady said. Hey, young lady, could you behave yourself? I don't even know you, Anthony said with disbelief written all over his face. Anyway, I don't care whether you admit to knowing me or not. We will soon see, the lady said, waving a pen drive at his face. She then went ahead to insert it into the computer, available as its contents began to display on the projector for everyone to see. I know this video and pictures might be a little inappropriate, but I am forced to do so because I have no other option. In this video, she was seen kissing a man who looked like Anthony, but had his back turned to the camera. Well, what shows that it's me? Anthony said with anger. Relax, the lady said with a teasing smile. This only agitated Anthony more. I know you could not admit that it was you, so I took some pictures of us together and boom, she showed the pictures of them together. They both looked so intimate in the images that it would be difficult for Anthony to say that he ever had anything to do with him. By now, the audience had become so agitated that some even began getting up to leave. How on earth was he supposed to face his wife and future in-laws? Anthony, how could you do this? Priest Roland asked. That is not all. I am pregnant with him. What? The audience, looking on as the drama unfolded, could not help but shout. How can you be this unfaithful to your wife? Someone from the crowd called. No matter what, you must take responsibility for the unborn child, another person shouted, and this went on and on. Now that everything was against him, nothing he did could prove his innocence. His in-laws walked up to him as though he didn't have enough. By then, Helen was already in a confused state of mind that she could only watch the drama unfold before her and for a moment. She loves watching dramas and reading novels and would have clapped at how creative the scriptwriter was, but just now that everything she saw was real, it amazed her. It took place at her wedding, which should be a happy event and a memorable one of a lifetime. This day remains a memorable one, but not what she was expecting. How could she face her friends in the future, with a lady suddenly claiming that she had something with her husband-to-be? Anthony, we are very disappointed in you. Luckily, you guys were not yet declared husband and wife. From now onwards, we don't want to see you again, Helen's agitated parents said. Uncle, Auntie, please believe me. I don't know this lady here, and I can swear that I have never done anything with her, nor am I responsible for her unborn child. By the time he was done with his sentence, a heavy slap had already landed on his cheeks. Do you still have the guts to lie to us after all this evidence? What do you take our family and my daughter for? From now onwards, I don't want to see you near my daughter again, or else I will make you feel sorry, Miss Blackson said. Rushing to Helen, Anthony asked that she believes in her. Helen, please, even if no one believes in me, please, you should. You know that kind of person I am, Helen. In this world, I would only marry you and no one else. Can you please wait for me to prove my innocence? Anthony asked. Tell me, what else is there for you to prove? That you cannot or are not the one in the pictures? Helen could no longer hold back her tears, and she began to cry. Or what do you want her to do? Take care of the baby alone? I believe you are not that heartless. My mom always tells me that we always must have been responsible for our actions. Anthony, good luck. I hope that we never meet again, Helen said as she walked out of the chapel. So we are disappointed in you. Do you know that your actions have ruined most of our business? From now onwards, you are on your own, his dad said. We can never have an unfilial son like you. As expected, the next day, news about the wedding drama ensued and made it to the headlines on almost every social media platform. All the negative comments were actually against him. It's almost 9 months since the wedding incident occurred. By now, even he had started believing he was responsible for the pregnancy. All these months, all he did was try to gather evidence to clear his name. But no matter how hard he tried, he found nothing. He remembers that he was once drunk, but did not remember anything wrong. Maybe he did it and forgot, so he decided to accept his fate. After the incident, he lost his job and had to rely on his parents for survival. No matter how hard he tried to find another one, it all proved futile. Anthony was sitting in his parlor thinking about his life when he suddenly received a text from an anonymous caller. Might it be one of the several companies that I applied to? He thought to himself as he answered the call. "Hi, am I speaking to Anthony?" the caller asked. "Yes, please. May I know who I'm talking to, please?" Anthony asked. "No need to ask too many questions. I have the evidence that can prove your innocence," the anonymous caller said. "You what?" Anthony exclaimed at the other end, out of shock and disbelief. "Yes, you heard me right. Meet me at Sunflower Coffee Shop tonight at 7 p.m. for it," the anonymous caller said, and the line went dead. The next few minutes saw Anthony deliberating on whether he should go and meet the anonymous caller or not. What if it was another scam? Anthony thought. At least his desire to clear his name became more significant than his fear of the anonymous caller. So he decided to go. When he arrived at the coffee shop, the anonymous caller called again, directing him to where he was to be seated. Later in the day, he tried guessing who this unknown caller might be. But now it seemed like he was wrong after all because he never met the guy in front of him before. "Nice meeting you, Anthony. Well, my name is Ben. I already know who you are, so there's no need to introduce yourself. Let me get straight to the point. Tonight, I'm hearing two things. One is to give you the evidence, and the other is to ask for your help," Ben said. "So far, as you can give me the evidence just as you promised, then I will surely help you in any way possible," said Anthony. "I like people who are like you, honest and straightforward," Ben said. "Here is the evidence," Ben said, handing over a pen drive to Anthony. "But the baby should be mine after you succeed. Deal or no deal?" Ben asked. "Well, I don't mean to ask too much, but can you tell me how you and Ellen are related? Because it will make everything more manageable if I know a little bit about that," Anthony said to Ben. "I should tell you home, checking out the pen drive's contents. What he saw in the video left him close to tears. The first video Ellen projected that day was not him, but someone else asked to pretend to be him. Just when he thought that he had seen enough, another clip showed the waiter adding some stuff to his drink before it was served to him. After he was unconscious, Ellen took risque pictures of him and her. So he was innocent all this while. He quickly drove back to the hospital to confront Ellen over what she had done. Just as Anthony was expecting, she still denied the contents of the pen drive, saying that Anthony might have asked someone to edit it for him. Anthony was prepared for this answer, so he released his last straw. A DNA test was done for the baby, showing that Anthony was not the child's father. "Do you want to deny this one too?" Anthony asked Ellen. "What if I deny it again? What can you say?" Ellen asked him. People at the hospital gathered around them to watch the drama. "What if I tell you that I have already met Ben, the real dad of your child?" Anthony shouted angrily at Ellen. "All these years I have been living in agony because of you. I broke up with my wife, all thanks to you. The whole world sees me like a wicked person now because of you, Ellen. Of all the people in the world, why me? Ellen, tell me why. Go ahead and enjoy your life in prison, okay? Anthony, please don't abandon me. Please," Ellen said in tears. "At least for the sake of my newborn baby, please." As the saying goes, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Ben wants his baby as he wants me to wish you a happy stay in jail for your crimes. When the cops arrived for Ellen, they had made it to the headlines again. When Anthony arrived at his house, he realized someone was already there. In this world, only one person had the spare key to his apartment. He rushed to hug Ellen's open arms. "Why did you let me wait for so long? Do you know how much I missed you?" Helen asked. "Thanks for waiting for me all along," Anthony said as he tightened his arms around her.